Hi, everyone. Welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. Actually, there really is a second tarot person here today. I'd like to do something a little different and let you watch me get to know Liz Tarot a little bit more. Hey, Liz, welcome
How
to
are
my
you?
channel.
I'm so honored to be here. Oh my goodness.
Well, I'm glad you're here. And one of the reasons that you're here is sometimes your channel focuses on some current events in tarot, like mine does. And when I only had 300 subscribers, you shouted me out. And I
I
try
did.
to show my gratitude to people and remember when someone has done a kindness towards me, and you did. So
And your subs, man, went way past me in the friend zone. I was like, whoa, awesome sauce for you. I love it.
I think it's because 90% of what I do and what I'll continue to do is current events. And that's what people are so fed up with, the lies from mainstream. And they
Yep,
realize if we set our ego aside a little bit, we're actually getting some good intel from the cards. And
exactly.
so that's why I think it's the current events focus, and
Yes,
that's
and
the
I
other
think
thing
I
is,
get oh, sorry to interrupt you. I sometimes I get into the woo a lot because I just love it. But yeah, I see it.
yeah, yeah. Well, I put a little of that into, there's going to be times that people are going to meet someone on my channel. And then last weekend we did a meditation. And because, I see this world events as not just political, but a spiritual battle.
Amen.
So that's why I said 10%. I'm leaving myself the option of 10% not being specific current events.
Right.
But we need to recognize that the world's way more layered than we thought.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, I'm a sort of a liberal Christian flavored pastor and metaphysician. And so I live in the woo a lot. And so I have to land in 3D reality sometimes to and so I'm not always so interested in the news, like what's 45 doing, what's 46 doing. Oh my goodness. But they are of interest.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I wanted you to just take a minute and tell everybody a little bit about, you have a more varied offering online than I do. I only have the YouTube channel at this point, and quite honestly, um, that's enough, plus I'm trying to interact with people in emails and comments and things like that. But you have a website and a few other things, and later on, if you send me the links, I'll put them in the description below. So tell everybody a little bit about how you got started, how long you've been online, what you do.
Yes, yes. Okay, so this is very strange, but I'm actually in the Army and I've deployed twice. I was in Kuwait last year. Uh, and I'm actually an Army chaplain and I'm on my way out at 59, so I'm going to be retiring soon. So a couple of things. So I've always been interested in spiritual matters and I've always thrown cards, but sometimes I've put them down to be, for a while, as a conservative Christian. I'm clearly not now. But last year I went on mission to do the Afghanistan evacuation, and I'd come home to my housing, like after 12, 14-hour days, so annoyed and angry at the situation. It was really kind of rough. And the 13 military members that died, we went to Kuwait City to meet the transfer cases. That's what they're buried in and what they're transferred in. I felt it was so unnecessary. Anyway, to soothe myself, I would just go home. I got this little microphone stand thingy that you see in the corner, and I just started throwing cards from it to soothe my own soul. And then some friends back home in the States wanted some readings. I threw them up on YouTube thinking they were private. I mean, some of them were private, but I didn't know YouTube was going to make some public by accident. You have to watch that. And so I went online one day and I had 500 subscribers. And it's a good thing that I actually kept the people's, I take people's initials and reverse them. So an SD would be a DS. And so people know who they are, but it's still private. So luckily for that. So anyway, I thought, oh, there's an interest. So that's how I got started again. Now, my friend Sylvia, my webmaster, I've always done healing work on the side. And so I have a website called Feelingbetter.space, and I do healing work. And I got home from deployment and I fasted and came out with, like, I wanted my own Reiki, like, hey, that guy went on the mountaintop for 3 weeks and fasted. I fasted for 7 days and got this, what I call quantum rewiring healing system, where I can help people with trauma, PTS, I'll say, and what we say, dissociated parts. A lot of times when someone's hurting, parts dissociated, parts of the personality, they dissociate. I see them on their little islands of pain shouting up and down, when you get triggered. So my work energetically over space, over Zoom, actually is a client-led type of therapy where I can talk to your higher self, Laura, and your higher self knows best how to heal you better than I do. And so that we can invite dissociated parts. We talk to them. I'm almost a psychologist, but basically in something called internal family systems. And so we work with the internal parts, the inner child stuff, right? The shadow stuff. So there's that. So I call it quantum rewiring. So I have that. I love my tarot reading. It just soothes my soul. And frankly, the counseling that I do and the coaching actually bounces off the pictures of the cards. So it's really lovely. And then also, which I haven't announced, is I do, like, I call it candle work. It's like cleaned up hoodoo, but I do candle work and I bless people that way, but that's on the down low. Like, I'll do a candle working for someone if they ask, but I don't have the pictures up yet because I think my military commanders would be really weirded out by that. I'll pause there.
Well, thank you for your service. I did not know that you were active military. Are you aware that I'm also a female veteran?
No.
Yes, yes, yes. Much. Just one enlistment in the National Guard, but it was during the end of the Vietnam era, so I'm officially legally a Vietnam era veteran.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I don't know,
Thank you
maybe
for your
that's why the
service.
connection, why I resonated with you and vice
Oh yeah,
versa a
thank you
little
for your
bit.
service. I
Well,
commissioned at 46 as a chaplain, and so I was already, I won't make my 20. It's just, I'm a nerd patriot. I love those soldiers. I work with sailors, soldiers, airmen, Marines. I love them. And so I'll stay in as long as till they kick me out.
well, another thing that resonated with me is I am a Christian also. And now I am no longer involved with formal religion or churches, and I have no desire to be. But in fact, the more I distance myself from formal religion, the closer my relationship got with God and, my Savior. And
Amen. Amen.
I
Right?
I have lost some friends over the tarot cards that are still stuck in the programming that, and believe what they've been told. And I said, no, I believe that tarot can be used prayerfully and positively. And so, quite honestly, I prayed before we started the Zoom session. I prayed before I used the cards. And
Amen.
I always just
Amen.
ask that I access only information from my higher
Yes.
self or from my loving creator,
I love
because
that.
that's enough right there. That is enough.
Oh,
And it keeps
sister,
any
I
other
hear you.
energies out of the picture. And my higher self has my back. So I trust my higher self
Mhm.
explicitly. Although, you signed a few too many contracts. We're going to
I can
talk
help you with
about
that.
that next time.
I do contract
Ego
work
may
too.
have wanted a little bit of a break that
We
higher
can talk
self
later. Yeah.
didn't
Oh,
authorize.
yeah. I'm telling you, like, same with me. I feel like I believe my Jesus is almost a cosmic Jesus. Like, I actually believe when he came and died for us, I do think he did. I know there's a lot of stories about that he actually really paved the way so we can beat the demons and we can actually battle the evil. Like, I really do believe that when Agamemnon had to sacrifice his daughter Iphigenia on the shoreline to get good winds for Troy, for the Iliad, I really believe that demons were making them do that. That's just Liz's belief. But I think when Jesus came, like, he's almost more than the Bible says. It's almost more than what a little bitty Baptist church talks about him. I believe in, like, this cosmic Jesus who really does stuff. And we could share, but I have a lot of stories where Jesus saved me. Like, remember I was at JRTC, which is at Fort Polk, where you do like this. We were in fake Iraq, and I was a chaplain to soldiers doing blah, blah, blah. And I remember I was in our AO, we were called being in the box, and we're in the box or AO. This was in 2012. I was walking the perimeter praying against, in Jesus' name, I pray against adultery and all these things. And then on the seventh night, I had like sleep paralysis, like a sleep paralysis. I couldn't hypnagogic, I couldn't move. And I saw this, it's kind of weird, I know, but this entity, this being coming over to me, sitting on me and starting to choke me. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is how I'm going. And I couldn't do anything about it. I was like, and then I heard to my left, in Jesus' name, leave her alone. Leave her now. I'm like, who was that? So I had to hit it to my sleep system. And then an hour later, I was like, yeah, what they said, maybe it was angel. But so I know there's power in the name, and whether we offend our listeners now because we're saying Jesus. So I'm with you, though. I think religion is too controlling of the masses for property and controlling sex and controlling.
Yeah. It's about control and power. And and that's, but for people that find a church that feeds their soul, that gives them fellowship they need, there are good churches. I know that. And there are good fellowships. And it's just that I find, and I'm still part of a prayer chain. And I have a friend that I pray with every day. And so my faith life is flourishing, just not in a standard definition type way.
I agree.
But
However
yeah,
people
yeah,
find it, I
I
love
do
it.
believe that Jesus was much, much more than the Bible is. The Bible gives us a snapshot, and I'm sure that there's truth in it, or he would have intervened mightily, but there's also been a lot of editing and rewriting. And so I'm not a biblical scholar, so I'm not going to get into that in detail. But yeah, I do. I don't limit myself to what is within the pages of the book. If with my prayer life, I pray for so many, and I pray for who they pray for. And then across the world, I say, if whatever someone asks, if they're asking it in Jesus' name and according to God's will, join my prayers with theirs. So, whoa, we're doing this on a Sunday, so we're kind of having a little mini church here.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, as a chaplain, I'm Title 10, like a pluralist, Title 10 pluralist, and whoever someone worships and whatever they do, it's good with me. And if they're secular, I just point them to the 4 agreements or something,
Yeah.
And I'm down with it. Like when I was downrange, I was working with the Messianic Jews. I preached with the Buddhists. I preached with the pagans and the Norse, and I love it.
Yeah. Well, tell me, how did you start learning to honor your intuition and develop your gifts, your spiritual gifts?
Okay, well, somehow when I was about 6 years old, I started writing my own children's letters to God. I don't know if you remember those old books that came out. And I started writing my own ceremonies. I was so weird. Like I was like serious direct reincarnation of a witch or something. I don't know. But I came up with my own spells and stuff like that. And then whatever. I was always spiritual, and I always seemed to know there was a God. So I always just knew. So, even when I was 12, I had my first deck of tarot cards. I think it was a Tarot de Marseille, because I think it was the first one available back in the whatever. So I always was playing and always developing intuition. And so I've done shamanic training. I'm a member of the Four Winds Society. So I've done things for about 40 plus years to develop intuition. And so, and this already, Laura, is that if anyone out there is wondering about how to develop their intuition, how I teach it, as I say, if you were intuitive, what would whatever say, or what would you think, or how would you read this card? And that's how you start opening up your intuition. And then I think your subconscious mind or your higher self's like, oh, she's listening, he's listening, and you get more downloads. So it's in the Army, you've probably heard this. It's a crawl, walk, run phase to develop intuition. I've just been doing it for 40 years. I love it. I'm not saying I'm all that. I just love it. It soothes me, and I love helping out.
Yeah. And I think tarot is definitely going mainstream. I've had people say, well, does this mean, you're into witchcraft now? And I understand that there's white witchcraft and that it's powerful and can work. But I say, no, I own a frying pan, but I've never been a professional chef. And I own a hammer, and I've never been a contractor. And I use tarot decks to have insights and to kind of get my ego out of the way so that I can get insights that might help and soothe.
Right. So, and everything's a tool. Everything's a tool. You can use a frying pan to whack someone in the head, and you can use it to cook a nice set of scrambled eggs. Right.
That's right. So yeah. So anyway, but the thing is, you don't have to buy the whole cookware set to use one piece of it effectively. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. Well, I'm kind of known for not having super long videos. And I know that sometimes when I click on someone, no matter how much I love them, when I see that they want me to listen for an hour and 9 minutes or an hour and a half, I think, oh, and I put it on double speed, and I've learned to listen really fast. But I don't want to make people do that with me. So I thought, let's just get to know Liz a little bit, chat. And we really are to those of you doing this, we are getting to know each other right in front of you. This isn't staged in any way. Exactly. And except that we did agree that at the end of our session, we would do a read for each other. So we'll let you watch that. And the question we're going to be asking our cards is, what does the universe want? I'll be asking, what does the universe want Liz to know about her coming week? And she'll be asking, what does the universe want Laura to know about her coming week? So Liz, you go first, and I'll be inviting my camera into the...
Do you want me to go first? You want me to go first?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, let me get to the camera. Fancy. Hey, everyone. So I've got the Radiant Rider-Waite today. Really good. And I also do Janine's Kachina Night Spread, and it's a nicely shuffled deck. Laura, what's for you this week? Let's see what we got. Now, this is the Kachina knife spread. I put it to the side, so for the landscape view of the camera. Okay, so nice. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm an upright reader.
So am I. The energy may be a little stuck, but
just wait. Just wait. We'll see what's good. Okay, yes. Okay, interesting. Okay. All right, this is so lovely. Okay. So yeah, I feel like can you see the cards? There's a little reflection here. Good. Hold on, let me
yeah.
let me turn off the overhead light real quick. I always forget to do that. Like we want to do things authentically, but then you want to have a good thing for the readers. Okay.
Right.
So I'm getting it like, I mean, even I think that you have been bonding really lovely with people, even with me, like just a nice, sweet bonding and bonding with the tarot channel, with your people who are watching your tarot channel. It's been really lovely. And I just think you may have been looking at, I'm just getting a friend thing, not like business contract stuff, but like friend stuff. Like I know you said earlier you were more of a quiet type, private type, but I think you're maybe pushing to get out there a little bit or like work on your tribe, something like that. So in the future of this week, again, I'm doing the Kachina knife spread. So we could look at it like these three, the top three are kind of like for the next 3 or 4 days. And this could be the next 3 or 4 days. That's how I read them, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So, okay, something about, there's we look at 5. Number 5 is change and conflict a little bit, but it's a fast moving energy, especially with the sword. So there might have been something you're making a decision about, something like, I'm not saying even an argument with someone, but something where you might need to like figure something out. You might even, sometimes it's to take your ball and go home, but card for me, but I'm not seeing that so much here. I'm seeing it more like, you might have to, what I'm getting is standing your ground with something this week. Standing your ground with something this week. But look, this is you. And this is you, like also see you like, oh my goodness, almost like look at a resurrection this week. Let me see what I'm thinking. So the Empress, like, I think you're coming into even more like personal beauty and ability to help and heal, even with your words and your tarot reading, but even in your personal life, like just, I don't know, I'm getting just being able to even bless with your word is what I'm getting. Like kind of a beautiful feminine energy of like you might even be starting something a little bit new and trying to figure out what, I'm working, I don't want to do any more on my tarot channel, but there might be some ideas you might be having, and maybe spirits working with you like, no, let's do something a little bit else or a little bit new. And there's a sense of resurrection or a sense of something you've been wondering about, like, well, maybe I'll just write my book, or maybe I'll just do that other side hustle, or maybe I'll just start a new tribe of women over here or something like that. But there's something happening here like that you're not maybe so aware of just yet this week. Is that resonating at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then later on in the week, again, maybe some confusion about like, how do I set this up? Whom do I ask? How do I pay for the whatever? Like, even though you just said you're not into tarot reading on the side, there's something for you, like another type of healing modality that's coming out for you. I'm just saying, and you can let me know if I'm BSing you or not later, but there's something new, and it might be some confusion around it, or maybe even some little reluctance. I see these people with different tribes, like different tribal paths. The 5 of Wands is like, you might even like, even if it's a new group of people on Meetup or some sort of tribe or a prayer group, they might be like, no, I want to do it this way, but it's not a problem. The faster energy, and it's just, so you have some changes this week, right, with the 5s. But again, you are the Empress, you and you are the Queen of Wands, like being able to get her done and just do the greatest, like you have the magic of able to carry it out this week. And like, again, it's about doing what you love. Okay. I know Janine sometimes thinks of this as like a fakery guy and you're next, but I'm getting goodness here. It's just what I'm getting. So I'm going to throw 2 more. Yeah. Alrighty. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So here we go. 9 and 10 of Swords. I'm getting like, I think to create this new beauty, something might have to end, right? But this, this is good stuff where something that's
transformation.
Yeah, there's transformation. Like I actually personally love getting the Tower card. I personally love getting the Death card. I'm like, yes, change, because you can't change. Now, Laura, I do something I call change tarot, and I won't have to do it here, but I actually change the energies with a pendulum, not to take away someone's lessons, but just to mitigate the factors, But, so you're thinking something's on your mind, especially maybe at night, something's going to come to an end. And I think whenever you're able to drop that, either drop, whether it's a friendship or someone who's not good for you, or something you're doing during the day that's not working for you, or a business, when this begins to end, or as it begins to end, this is going to flourish. Or you can look at reverses. As you begin to do this new project, this stuff will end, like some yucky stuff will end. Does that
Yeah.
make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And now for you.
Uh-oh, here we go. Let me change mine to me again. And thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we accommodated our different styles for this. Part of it is that I use an older laptop for the majority of what I do.
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Being in the military, I just have to have like,
Oh, wow. It's already interesting.
stuff.
Oh my gosh. Look at all those major arcanas coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you are you're indicated by the Temperance card here. And what my intuition tells me, and it also is confirmed by what you've said, is that you have some gifts that you are holding off on developing or making public because of, professional considerations. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're looking at a lot of things in a new way, including maybe just me from this conversation. Okay. The past, your past kind of affects your future. It all goes together. And this is a beautiful card to have to indicate your past, that you're totally connected with your higher self. You have a loving relationship and you have love for the world. And it's shown here. Moves forward with Page of Pentacles. So you've got a lot of energy. You're not having any trouble keeping your physical fitness going and things like that. And you're also, while you have some interest in earthly matters, they don't make your decisions for you. So if you have a choice that feels right, you're going to go with it, even if there's one that might be more profitable. And I love that because I know I'd do the same.
Right.
I was telling someone the other day, I said, I give 50% of my YouTube earnings to my local food bank, and I have canceled checks to prove it, and an accountability partner because I don't want people like seeing the canceled check and knowing my routing numbers and stuff like that. But she can confirm it if it's ever needed. And then I give a third of it to my daughter, who's a single mother. And that leaves 17% for me, or just under 17%, 16 and a half. And I understand the IRS is going to take 15.5% of that. And I don't care because that's not why I'm doing this, So
right.
Yeah. So again, the money doesn't drive you. And that's really good. You are not afraid to face a challenge. And for the coming week, you may have a light challenge coming up. You do need to be careful because you may be dealing with someone who is not totally forthright and honest with you in the conflict. There is someone you can rely on, though, to bounce ideas off of and get feedback from. A wise male energy. It may not be a male, but a wise male type of, energy.
Beautiful.
So use that resource if you feel like you're having to deal with someone who is being less than forthright with you. So that's what I get for you.
Thank you. I love that. So I would love to hear like how your week went at some point, like how, correct that was or what have you.
Yeah. I've got an email that's really interesting that I need to follow up on with someone. And I'm in the process of negotiating to buy a car, a small one to keep. My daughter lives in Maine, across the country. So I'm negotiating a car purchase. So, I thought, well, that's the worldly thing that I'm kind of debating and dealing with. And then spiritually, I'm just open to be used in any positive way because our world is changing, and hopefully like within days or hours, or today it worked for me. And I just feel like what I've been asked to do is to kind of help people realize it's never too late to wake up.
Exactly.
It's never too late, and just to help them on the journey. It kind of goes along with my 29 years of special ed teaching. Nice. So I just feel like I'm placed there. So that's why I don't do deep dives and things like that. But I just think it's really important to people know, as they like, oh man, I had someone tell me in 2017 when I first asked about 17, And back then 17 had only posted up into the 3 digits.
Yep.
They told me I was too late to learn about it.
What?
Yes, exactly. Well, that's probably the best thing you could have told me, is since I've got this like, well, I'll show you. So, but it wasn't too late. And I don't want anybody to think, no matter what their age is, that there's not something they can't learn and that there's not something that they can't contribute. That's part of the reason we do the meditations. I'm going to probably just do them monthly, but because that's
Yeah,
something
okay.
people can do, and it
Mhm.
throws out positive energy, and our world really needs it.
You know, I know. And when I throw the cards, I often get for the folks, really, I call a bubble of heaven. Like, really, what is your family doing? Are you taking care of your people? Because if we all create our own bubbles of heaven, really, then it always, I know that I love what you said. You had something on one of your thing, caught collaterally. You use that expression, caught collaterally in something. Like, sometimes I know that if there's baby formula shortage and food shortage, yes, it can harm people. I don't want mean to be flippant, but the more we create our own bubbles of heaven, our own worlds, our own people, our own families, homes, gardens, whatever have you, I think that we can make the world a better place if we just have our own thing, and we don't even have to worry about what's going on there sometimes,
Yeah,
and look at it just out of curiosity, not out of desperation or fear.
yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and send me those links. I'll put them in the description so people
Yes,
can
ma'am.
find you, subscribe, and check into some of the other services that you offer, and keep an eye on you and see how the universe uses you.
Yes, and also, will you come onto my channel, please,
I'd be
ma'am?
happy to.
Okay,
So
great. Thank you so much. Love
thank
talking with
you.
you.
Good night, everybody.